You've been doing everything right. You're eating less. You're moving more. You've cut back on sugar. Maybe you've even tried a few diets, some of them more than once. And yet, that belly, it's still there, sitting right there, stubborn, almost like it's mocking you. And if you've ever stood in front of a mirror and thought, I don't even recognize my own body anymore, I want you to stop right there. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not failing. You are not lazy. And this is absolutely not your fault. My name is Dr. Susan Sevelt. And on this channel, we talk about everything that actually matters for your health after 60. Not recycled advice meant for younger bodies. Not quick fixes that never last. The real information. The kind nobody sat you down and explained. And that's exactly what we're doing today. Here's what most people don't know, and what I'm going to walk you through right now. After the age of 60, your body starts playing by a completely different set of rules. Rules that your younger self never had to deal with. And the belly fat advice that works for a 35-year-old? It doesn't just fall short for you, it can actually make things worse. Because your biology changed. And the solution has to change with it. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the 5 hidden reasons why belly fat becomes almost impossible to budge after 60. And more importantly, the exact fixes that actually work for your body, at your age, right now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video made specifically for you. We post every week, and every single video is built around one person, you, over 60, trying to feel your absolute best. Now let's get into it, because every single piece of this matters. Before we can fix anything, you need to understand why your belly fat feels so different now, why it feels like it has a life of its own, why it doesn't respond the way it used to. After 60, your body goes through something scientists call a metabolic shift. And 3 things happen almost at the same time, quietly, gradually, and most people never even realize it's happening. The first is your hormones, your estrogen if you're a woman, your testosterone if you're a man, both drop significantly after 60. And here's what most people don't know. Those hormones used to tell your body where to store fat. Hips, thighs. Places that were frustrating, yes, but relatively harmless. When those hormones drop, your body changes the address. It starts routing fat directly to your abdomen, directly to your organs. That's called visceral fat. And it's not just the fat you can see or pinch. It's fat packed deep inside, wrapped around your liver, your stomach, your pancreas. It's the fat that drives diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver, and even certain cancers. And it's the fat that your old diet tricks were never designed to touch. The second thing that changes is your muscle. After 60, most people lose somewhere between 1% and 2% of their muscle mass every single year. It's called sarcopenia. And it happens so slowly you barely notice, until one day you realize you feel heavier even though the scale hasn't moved much. That's not your imagination. That's muscle, quietly being replaced by fat. And here's why that matters so deeply. Muscle is your body's fat-burning engine. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, means fat accumulates faster, means your body becomes less and less efficient at doing the one thing you need it to do. And the third shift is your cortisol, your stress hormone. After 60, cortisol becomes more reactive, more sensitive. Even everyday stress that you use to brush off. A bad night of sleep, a difficult conversation, worry about your health or your family, now causes your body to pump out far more cortisol than it used to. And cortisol has one favorite destination. One place it loves to deposit fat more than anywhere else. Your belly. So before you blame yourself, before you spend another day feeling frustrated, I want you to understand, your body changed. Profoundly. Silently. And nobody explained it to you. That's not fair. And that changes today. Now the first fix, and I'm going to start with something that almost nobody in this space is talking about when it comes to belly fat after 60. And that's sleep. If you are sleeping less than 6 hours a night, or waking up frequently through the night, your belly fat is not going anywhere. I want to say that again, because it's that important. No diet. No exercise program. Nothing will work as well as it should if your sleep is broken. Here's what's happening inside your body when you're not getting quality rest. Poor sleep drives up your cortisol. We already talked about what cortisol does to belly fat. But poor sleep also suppresses a hormone called leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, and spikes a hormone called ghrelin, which tells you you're hungry. So after a bad night's sleep, you wake up hungrier, craving sugar and carbohydrates, and your body is already in fat storage mode before you've even had your first cup of coffee. There was a landmark study that followed thousands of adults over several years, and what they found was striking. People who consistently slept fewer than 6 hours per night had significantly higher levels of visceral fat, even after accounting for diet and exercise. Sleep was an independent driver of belly fat on its own. So before you change a single thing on your plate, before you lace up your walking shoes, start protecting your sleep like it's medicine. Because for visceral fat after 60, it essentially is. A few things that make a real difference. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bed. Dim your lights after 8 in the evening. Keep your bedroom cool. Research suggests around 65 to 68 degrees is ideal for deep sleep. And put the phone down at least 30 minutes before you close your eyes. These small shifts can quietly begin dismantling your visceral fat while you rest. Now let's talk about food. And I want to do something a little different here, because most channels tell you what to eat. I want to start by telling you what to stop eating. Because some of these foods are marketed as healthy, and for a younger person, they might be fine. But for your body, at this stage of life, they are silently feeding your belly fat every single day. The first one is fruit juice. Even 100% natural, no sugar-added fruit juice. After 60, your liver processes fructose very differently than it did in your younger years. When the liver is overwhelmed with fructose, it converts it directly into fat. And that fat goes straight to your visceral stores. Eat the whole fruit instead. The fiber slows everything down and completely changes how your body handles the sugar. The second one will surprise you. And that's whole grain bread and most breakfast cereals, even the ones with the heart-healthy labels. Many of these products spike your blood sugar far more than the packaging suggests, especially in older adults whose insulin sensitivity has already declined. And a blood sugar spike means an insulin surge. And insulin is essentially your body's fat storage signal. It tells your cells, save this, hold on to this, don't let it go. The third one is vegetable oils. Canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil. These are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids that drive chronic inflammation in the body. And inflammation in older adults is one of the most persistent and underappreciated root causes of visceral fat accumulation. If you're cooking with these oils every day, you are quietly fanning a fire inside your body that is making everything else harder. Now, what should you be eating instead? Target omega-3 rich foods. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines, walnuts, ground flax seeds. Omega-3 fatty acids are among the most well-studied nutrients for specifically reducing visceral fat. They lower inflammation, improve how your cells respond to insulin, and help your body shift from fat-storing mode into fat-burning mode. Add fermented foods to your daily routine. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. Your gut microbiome changes dramatically after 60. And a disrupted gut environment directly contributes to visceral fat accumulation. Fermented foods help restore that environment. Think of it as rebuilding the ecosystem inside you. And increase your protein, especially at breakfast. Your body after 60 needs more protein than it did when you were younger, just to maintain the muscle you already have. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a small handful of nuts, getting adequate protein. First thing in the morning reduces hunger hormones for the rest of the day. Fewer cravings, fewer poor choices, a body that's working with you instead of against you. And if you're finding this helpful so far, and I truly hope you are, this would be a wonderful moment to subscribe, if you haven't already. Every week, Dr. Susan brings you content built exactly like this, practical, science-backed, and made specifically for life after 60. Just hit that subscribe button right now. It takes 2 seconds, and you'll never miss a video. Now let's keep going, because what's coming next might be the most important piece of this entire conversation. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share next is something almost no channel for seniors is talking about yet. And it might be the one thing that has been silently undermining everything else you've tried: stress. Not just the obvious stress of a hard day or a difficult week. I'm talking about the quiet, low-grade, ongoing stress that so many people over 60 carry constantly, and often don't even recognize as stress anymore. Worry about health, about finances, about children or grandchildren, about getting older, about losing independence, about what the future holds. That quiet background hum of anxiety that has become so familiar it almost feels normal. That hum, that constant low-level activation, keeps your cortisol elevated. Day after day, week after week, month after month. And elevated cortisol tells your body, with remarkable consistency, to deposit fat. Right in the belly. Right around your organs. Research published in the journal Psychoneuroendocrinology showed that higher daily cortisol levels were directly and significantly associated with greater amounts of visceral fat, completely independent of diet and exercise. Meaning you could be eating well, moving regularly, doing everything right, and chronic unaddressed stress could be quietly erasing much of your progress. So what do you do with that? Something as simple as 10 minutes of slow, deliberate breathing has been shown in multiple clinical studies to meaningfully lower cortisol. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 6. Twice a day. It sounds almost too simple to matter. But the science behind it is real, consistent, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Spending time in nature, even a 20-minute walk in a park or garden, reduces cortisol measurably. Genuine connection with other people, laughter, prayer, gentle music, time with a pet. These are not soft suggestions. These are biological interventions for visceral fat. Your nervous system responds to all of them. And for people over 60 who are often dealing with more isolation than they let on, this piece of the puzzle matters more than most people realize. And now, exercise. And I want to be honest with you here, because I think a lot of people over 60 have been handed exercise advice that was designed for someone 30 years younger. Advice that either feels impossible or feels like it might hurt them. And so they don't do it. And then they feel guilty about not doing it. And that guilt creates more stress, which creates more cortisol, which creates more belly fat. Let's break that cycle right now. You do not need to run sprints. You do not need to do high-intensity boot camps. You do not need to push through pain in your knees or your hips or your lower back to earn results. That is not the path for your body at this age. And the research actually backs that up. What the studies consistently show for people over 60 is this: consistent, moderate intensity movement, done regularly, is extraordinarily effective at reducing visceral fat. We're talking about brisk walking, swimming, cycling on a stationary bike. Even dancing in your living room counts. The key word is consistent. A brisk 30 to 45-minute walk done 4 to 5 times a week has been shown in multiple studies to significantly reduce visceral fat in older adults. Not jogging, not running, walking, with intention. At a pace where you feel slightly breathless but could still hold a conversation. That's the zone you're aiming for. And here's something that makes exercise uniquely powerful. Something that doesn't apply to dieting. The benefits are dose-dependent, meaning the more consistently you do it, the greater your results. There is no ceiling. There is no point of diminishing returns the way there is with cutting calories. Every additional walk, every extra 10 minutes of movement, it keeps compounding. It keeps paying dividends. Now, if you have joint pain or mobility challenges, and many people over 60 do, and there is absolutely no shame in that, I want you to know this clearly. You can do seated exercises that still raise your heart rate, activate your core, and begin breaking down visceral fat. Chair cardio, seated leg raises, wall push-ups, resistance bands from a chair. All of these count. All of these matter. None of them require you to risk injury or push through pain. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. A 20-minute walk that you actually enjoy and do 5 days a week will always outperform the perfect intense workout that you dread and skip. Before I close today, I want to say something to you directly. There is a story that many people over 60 have quietly been told. Sometimes by doctors who don't have time to explain. Sometimes by family members who mean well. Sometimes just by the world around them, in 100 small and subtle ways. And that story sounds like this. You're just getting older. This is what happens. This is what it looks like now. Learn to live with it. I want you to reject that story, completely and without apology. Because the science doesn't support it, the research doesn't support it, and you have every right not to support it either. The people who tend to struggle most with visceral fat as they get older are not people who lack willpower or discipline. They are people who were never given the right information for their specific body at this specific stage of life. They were handed advice built for someone else's biology and told to make it work. You now have something different. You know that your hormones shifted and why that matters. You know that sleep is not a luxury. It is a biological weapon against belly fat. You know which foods are quietly working against you, even the ones that look healthy. You know that the stress you carry every day has a direct, measurable impact on your waistline, and that you have simple, free tools to change that. And you know that you don't have to punish your body to move it. You just have to move it. Consistently. In a way that feels right for you. Every single walk counts. Every night of good sleep is a step forward. Every meal where you make a better choice, your body feels that. Your body responds to that. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. You are not starting too late. You are starting right now. And that is more than enough. If something in this video gave you a new perspective today, something that finally made sense of what your body has been going through, please give this video a like. It takes 1 second, and it helps so many more people just like you find this information when they need it most. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Dr. Susan is here every single week with content built specifically for your body, your age, and your life. And drop a comment below. I want to know which one of these 5 things you're going to start with first. I read every single comment, every one. Take care of yourself. Because you absolutely deserve to, and I'll see you in the next video.